Hello, and welcome to our minor capital grant writing video. I'm Lily Anderson, and I'm joined by Kaylee Linz, and we're both excited to guide you through the essentials of applying for our minor capital funding. This video will be speaking about our minor capital program, which is just one of the funding programs offered by the Columbia Kootenay Cultural Alliance, or CKCA. The CKCA is a project of the West Kootenay Regional Arts Council and is funded by the Columbia Basin Trust to carry out arts and culture funding programs within the Columbia Basin region. Before you start your application, just ensure you meet the overarching eligibility criteria for all of our programs. Applicants must reside in the Columbia Basin region, meaning your organization is based within the basin for at least 12 months immediately prior to the application deadline. CKCA funding focuses on arts and culture projects. If your organization has a heritage project, we encourage you to look at other opportunities for support provided by the Columbia Basin Trust and Heritage BC. You're welcome to apply for capital projects that serve any artistic discipline or tradition, including interdisciplinary arts. Before you apply, make sure that your organization does not have any outstanding requirements for previous grants.
The Minor Capital Program aims to support the development and preservation of arts and culture venues and support the capital needs of arts and culture organizations. Projects must support capital purchases or the improvement of capital assets. CKCA defines capital expenses as those which cost $200 or more and provide benefit beyond the duration of the project. Some examples of minor capital projects include purchasing equipment and building or renovating a permanent structure. Expenditures may include items like fees, tools, equipment, computers, software, instruments, risers, and acoustical upgrades. Funding is available in this program to registered nonprofit arts and culture organizations or venues. The maximum request is $10,000. Some key dates to remember for this program include the application deadline on March 7th, 2025 at 5 p.m. Pacific Time or 6 p.m. Mountain. Keep in mind the delivery of funding results will take place in mid-June or July. As well, your projects must take place between June 1st, 2025 and May 31st, 2026 in order to be eligible. CKCA minor capital applications are assessed by a volunteer steering committee. Steering committee members make funding recommendations on the basis of community benefit, application strength and quality, and available funds. The trust reviews and approves recommendations for funding. Here are a few examples of past successful projects funded by the CKCA minor capital program. The purchase of lighting equipment for outdoor performances, upgrades to the kiln in a community pottery studio, and the replacement of a piano for a community choir. So let's just walk through the application process step by step. First, you'll review available funding programs on the CKCA funding webpage to ensure this program is the best fit for your project. Next, you'll want to read the primary funding policies document to ensure eligibility before starting your application. Once you've finished your application, you'll submit your application online via our grant management system, Good Grants. All applicants will need to create a new account this year, regardless of whether you've applied to the CKCA previously. So here's just a quick tip on strengthening your application. So you'll want to clearly articulate the community benefit of your project. Explain how your project will help Basin residents experience or participate in arts and culture activities. Avoid common pitfalls by ensuring you're familiar with the eligibility criteria applicable to all CKCA programs, as well as the minor capital guidelines. Submit a complete application and avoid including ineligible expenses in your budget. Keep in mind the following eligibility criteria. If a building is owned by a government entity, minor capital arts funding is not available for structural repairs, such as the foundation, walls, or roof. CKCA cannot fund capital projects for private businesses or on private property, and funding cannot be used for ongoing maintenance. Capital projects cannot be combined with non-capital projects. For example, if the organization wishes to purchase a sound system and then create a performance that would use the sound system,
These would be considered two separate projects and may fit within two different funding programs.
Eligible expenses may include, but are not limited to, project coordination or production fees, materials and supplies, and marketing and promotion expenses specific to the project at hand. Ineligible expenses include operating costs. The CKCA does not provide operating funding nor funding to reduce deficits. Retroactive funding, meaning any activities taking place before June 1st, or school-based activities. Please note that projects can use schools as venues, but they cannot be curriculum related. The CKCA offers several resources to help you with your application, including consultation calls. If you have questions specific to your project, please contact our office to schedule your call. As well, on the CKCA funding webpage, you can see upcoming dates for live Q&A sessions. This is your chance to ask any questions you have about CKCA programs. And if you ever have any questions at all, feel free to reach out to us at admin@wkartscouncil.com or 250-352-2421. Lastly, thank you so much for watching. We look forward to receiving your application, and we'd like to thank the Columbia Basin Trust for supporting CKCA grant programs and resources like this one.